Hey, you guys. Okay, today I'm going to answer a question that I get all the time. Is it really possible to travel for free using points? So if you don't already know, I've never had a credit card, never will. And I know a lot of people have very strong feelings about this. And honestly, you guys, I'm just at this place where I don't really care anymore. Like, I don't mean to be rude or dismissive, but listen, at a certain point, I feel so confident in my money beliefs and my decisions around money that it just stopped bugging me when people disagreed with me. So I'm like, great, you do you, but here's how I think is the wisest, best way to live with your money. And I can't control the financial choices of all of you out there, and I don't want to. So my job is to show up and teach you what I have learned and what I believe is the smartest way when it comes to handling money, and the way that's really been proven over 30 years here at Ramsey Solutions using these principles. Now, the main goal of this show is to show you that it is possible to choose something different than what credit card companies or airline companies are trying to sell you. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's talk about leveraging points for discounts on travel and if it's actually worth the headache. So before we dive deeper into this, I want to tell you about a game that I've been loving recently, and that is Tapple. So Tapple is such a fun game, you guys. I love it because it's a little competitive. You got to be thinking on your feet, and I'm really good at those games. I like when you have to come up with something really quick on the spot. It makes it fun because the pressure's on, everybody's intense, and it is so fun. So it's a game. It has some categories in it. You got to say a word within that category, and whatever letter that word starts with, you put down on the board. So you keep pushing these letters down, and you can only use the letters that are up. So your choices start to get slimmer and slimmer, and things get harder and harder. You got to come up with words. Anyways, it is so fun. If the timer goes out and you haven't come up with a word, your team loses, the other team gets a point, and it's just really fun. So make sure to check out Tapple at Walmart. So back in September, there was a lot of talk around Delta Airlines, making it more difficult for customers to earn elite status with their points. So obviously, this is a huge bummer for people that are frequent flyers. It caused a lot of anger and disappointment for people that have been in the system and relying on it, and then they change it, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So apparently, the changes that were made would require customers to spend significantly more money in order to earn these points. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this is always going to be the problem with any systems when it comes to rewards or miles or points. Because at the end of the day, the massive corporate companies are always going to be concerned about the bottom line, which means they don't really care if you go into debt as long as they profit off of those increases. And it can be kind of deceiving because you think, in some of these commercials or Instagram ads, it can feel like, oh yeah, we're on your team. We want you to see the world. Go see those pyramids in Egypt. You go. And you're like, oh my gosh, American Airlines is supporting my lifelong dream for traveling the world. No, hate to break it to you, but airline and credit card execs, care 0% about your dreams of that Alaskan cruise. They're there to make money. They want you to spend more and more money so that you can get a little perk, and they're trying to convince you that playing the game is worth it. And I'm not gonna lie, I fully believe that there are people out there who feel like playing this game, that they are winning at it and they're successful at it. But I also believe that for majority of people, it's not worth the risk. So for me personally, I don't think it's worth the brain power to play the whole travel points game, because having to plan and scheme about when to register for this limited promotional deal or which credit card I can use for food versus the ones I use for entertainment so I get these 2 extra points. It's all confusing, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. One of my coworkers has a friend who works for a points influencer, and she confessed recently that she has 18 credit cards in her wallets. 18 credit cards. Money was never meant to be this complicated, you guys. And I would rather make wise financial decisions all the time so that my family has a firm foundation to stand on financially. And that's where we plan our travel, is from that, not from all these points and this credit card game. So why not actually be able to afford all the things you want by the money that you have? And something else that I find interesting is how many people have come to the same conclusion completely on their own. Because listen, it's just common sense. And at Ramsey, we're known for rejecting debt and challenging the credit card industry. But the other day, someone on our team was saying that she had never had a credit card, and not because she followed Ramsey for years or was intentionally taught about these principles of avoiding debt, but because it always just seemed like too much paperwork, right? It just seemed too complicated. Can I get an amen? So if more people made smarter financial decisions from the start so that debt never even felt like a need or an option, that is the best way, you guys. That's the best way. And that is my hope for you, that when it comes to a peaceful way of living with your life, it's all on your terms. There's autonomy. That is the best. Being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal. Christian Healthcare Ministries lets its members choose the providers that they want without worrying about networks. Find out more at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. So let's talk about some smart ways to manage your money so that you can reach your travel goals. So when you're looking at your overall money picture, getting out of debt is one of the number one goals I want you to have. And this is before travel, this is before anything, is getting completely debt-free. Because when you don't have debt, you have your income. And instead of your income coming in and going back out 18 different directions to 18 different credit cards, it's hard to use the money for things that you want. So that income being back in your power is huge. So getting out of debt is big. Also being able to save up for things you want. So this is like a sinking fund. So if you do have a trip you want to take, then be saving for it a little bit at a time. Winston and I have 2 big trips coming up, and that's what we do. We're like, yeah, we knew that we had one in November and one in December, and so we started planning and saying, okay, we're gonna just put some money away for these so that when the time comes to put the deposit down on the hotel, to buy the flights, the money's there, and it's great. So sinking funds are awesome. And also budgeting helps you with that. If you've not checked out Every Dollar, our budgeting app, make sure to do that, because when you plan month to month and look in the future, you have things under control. Now listen, there are some loyalty award systems when it comes to airlines and all of this, and some of that is great, right? Southwest Rapid Rewards, it's awesome, and we use those perks, and it's great. Also, the Target debit card. When I go to Target, I use that, and I swipe the debit card, money comes out of my account. But here I am using my own money, and that's the key, you guys. When you sit there and play this game back and forth with the credit card companies, and they're, if you don't pay your bill, there's interest on top of that. It's all of this is where it gets murky. But when it's just you and your money, and then you can benefit from that, that's great. Don't be benefiting from money that's not yours. So listen, it can be done. You can have a great life and travel and enjoy your life with a lot of peace and actually afford your life by cash flowing things like travel and all of it without having to play this point system game. And so for me, I would rather pay for things in full and not have a bill at the end of the month that I'm having to pay for just to get those extra points. So if you're ready to break up with debt and credit cards once and for all, you can learn exactly how to do that through Financial Peace University. So make sure to check it out at RamseySolutions.com. And there you can enroll in an FPU personal finance course, and it has tons of helpful resources for you every step of the way. So make sure to send this video to a friend who may love playing the credit card game and see maybe, you can change their mind. So remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love.